If this is uncomfortable for you, you can take your knees pretty wide. That's how I prefer to begin. It gives you more space so that your torso can drop through. And then as you reach your arms forward, stretch out as long as you can through your arms. So you're pretty activated, spreading out your fingers. And then now bend your elbows and then soften your forearms until they touch the ground. Just relax through your hands and see if you can relax also through your shoulders. Letting your shoulder blades relax and spread apart, bringing a little bit more space to the backside of your heart. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. And then with your mouth open, exhale. And then another breath like that. Inhale. And then exhale. With your lips closing, see if you can shift your breath so you're just breathing through your nose. And then we'll build up Ujjayi breath to build a little bit more heat. So begin to contract your throat. And then build a little bit more heat through your throat. And then feeling that. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Warming up your body. All right, so from here, reach your hands and your knees, and then we'll start with cat and cow. So I like to tuck my toes under just because it helps you open up the bottoms of your feet. So from here, with your next inhale, tilt your tailbone up towards the ceiling as you push in through your hands, so you feel that through your chest. And then as you exhale, round your spine, curling your chin in. And then inhale, lift, tail and heart. And then exhale. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, follow your own breath. Exhale. And this time we'll just pass through the inhale, lifting up the chest and the tail. And then stay like this. Exhale, draw your navel up against your spine. And then looking towards your knees, you'll lift up and slide back into downward facing dog. And feel free to pedal out your heels to open up the backs of your legs. Add more of a bend to your knee. You can shift more weight backwards to get more length in your spine. You can just keep walking your hands forward a little bit and then spread through your fingers. Good. And shift your hips from side to side so you get the side body opening. It's getting the most in this short period of time that we have. Good. And then level out your heels and take your feet as wide as the outsides of your hips so you have a lot of space. And then from here, shift all the way into your left heel, pressing down. Reach up with your right butt. Bend your knee. And then roll your hip open. So you're getting a side body stretch, bringing it in through your rib cage, across your chest. Spread your toes. Reach your legs straight. And then as you exhale, step through into a low lunge. You can keep your left hand on the floor. We'll set our left knee down just to begin. And then right arm circles all the way up. And you can take your gaze up. If it doesn't bother your neck, if it does, just look down. You can even let the head hang down too. All right, and we're gonna get a little sideways stretch through the left side. So start to look up first, and then reach your right hand backwards towards your left foot. And then from here, start to roll to the outside of your left hip. So you can do that really slowly, and then move your right foot. Just keep adjusting it. So you have the space so that your left hip can lower. So you end up kind of like sitting on the side. I know it's a tricky one, that adjustment. Right, and then the other thing you can do too is if this feels really intense in your side, because it is a pretty good intense side body stretch, then bend your elbow and take it all the way to the ground, so it's less intense. And still reach your right hand towards the back. Now with your next inhale, look at your hand, you're going to reach up towards the sky, and then set your hand back on the floor. Walk both hands in, and then lift yourself back up. Reach your right leg back into down dog. Good. And then again, pedal out your feet. And so between both sides, we'll go through the little vinyasa chorus. So inhale, come forward to a plank pose. And this part, you can set your knees down too. So knees can come down, taking it onto the shoulders. And then when you exhale, lower all the way down to your chest. Point your toes and bring your legs together. Slide your hands back under your elbows. And then as you inhale, reach up with your chest off the floor. Pull your chin in a little bit so you get more length on the back of your neck. And then exhale all the way back down. Let's do that again. So re-squeeze your elbows in, opening your chest. Press through your feet and then follow your inhale up. Exhale. Good, and then one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so staying on the floor with your head, keep your hands in the same place, tuck under your toes, and straighten your knees. So this is a strength move. You can either press to plank as you inhale, or place your knees back down and press up to all fours. So gathering your next inhale, choose to plank it up or to the knees, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. Good. All right, now press your weight into your right heel so you're flat on the floor with your foot. And then reach up with your left leg, bend your knee, roll your hip open, get your side body stretch through your waist, get your toes. And then with your next inhale, straighten your left leg so you're squaring off your hips, and then step all the way through and forward to your left hand. So right next to it, plant it, set your right knee down. Just pause here for a little stretch. Circling your left arm up. Right hand's gonna plant. And as you reach up through your left hand, press into, so you're gonna feel this strength and opening across your chest, even a little bit more inner thigh, squeezing towards the midline to help bring a little bit more of a center plumb line connection. Good. And then take one more breath in. And then on your exhale, you're gonna go ahead and just lower your hand for a sec. We'll take that turn over towards the edge of the right foot. And you'll start to move your left foot, tuck it off to the left, and you'll find to the side of your hip. So do this one slow, like I said, it's kind of big. You're gonna reach your left hand away, and you can always be on the elbow for this too. So you can always add on if it doesn't feel like it's enough. Keep both feet pretty active, flexing through your ankle. I'm gonna come back up to my hand. Is everybody breathing? Good. Okay, so with your next inhale, look at your hand, your left one, and you're gonna reach all the way back up. Bring your hip up off the floor, back to the ground with your left hand, and step back into your down dog. Pedal it out. Move your hips pretty big side to side. Right, and then leveling out your heels on the floor in your down dog with your head heavy. Inhale, come forward to a plank pose. This is where you get the choice again. So your knees can go on the floor for this. Otherwise, you're gonna exhale all the way down to your chest and your hips at the same time. Forehead's down, hands slide back under elbows. Press through the tops of your feet so your legs are active. And then inhale, ride the wave of your breath all the way up into cobra, not up dog. And then exhale back down. And let's do it twice more. Inhale, re-squeeze your elbows, press through your feet. Exhale. And then last one. Inhale, find a moment to pause. So you don't have to come up so high. And then exhale, back down. So with your next inhale, you'll curl the toes under. You can straighten your knees, press to plank, or press to hands and knees. So either one. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. Okay, so go ahead and walk your feet together. Reach your right leg all the way up. And then step through next to the right hand. So you're setting up for warrior two. So spin the left heel flat. You have a pretty good deep angle. And then from here, reach with your left arm wide open. So you circle wide into your warrior two. Spreading through your fingers. So turn your hands up so you can feel your shoulder blades drop down. And you'll spread through the hands to get a really broad opening across your chest. Your arms stay the same except for your hands slide back down. Palms facing down. And now reach forward through your right arm and then turn your hand back upside down and look at it as you take it back into reverse warrior. Another opportunity for the side body. more. Take a big breath into your ribs. And then each time you exhale, maybe bend your knee a little bit more. Okay, let's take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, go ahead and circle back to the floor and reach your right leg all the way up. Go ahead and spin your hip open, stacking your knee over your left hip. And then lower your foot down. Okay, let's switch sides. So you can walk your feet together if you'd like. Inhale, reach your left leg high. Exhale, step forward. Find your low lunge. Set yourself up in your warrior 2 feet. And then your right heel spins flat. And then use your right arm to pull you up. So reach way out as you widen. And then turn your palms up so you feel your shoulder blades slide down. Okay, and then go deeper in your hip. Okay, so right here. We can leave our left hand as it is. And then right hand drops down. Looking at your left hand. Ride it up with the breath. Stay low in your legs. Deep. Feel that in your breath moving into your ribs, down to the side body. All right, let's take one more breath in. And then exhale, cartwheel down, hands around the front foot. Lift your left leg long, bend your knee, roll it open. Good. And then straighten, lower your leg down. So let's walk our hands back just to mix it up. So hands come back towards the feet at the end of your mat. There you go. And then bend your knees if it's hard for you to touch the floor. And then take your feet a little wider. Actually, let's go as wide as our mat since we have some space. So once you have your heels as wide as your hips are wider, turn your toes out. So you have a pretty good angle. And a slow squat. So this one's a fun knee one. Noelle, I know you're a knee person. So you can take your block and you can make a little stool out of it. So there's a couple ways to do it. Sit up, and go like this, and then lift up your seat. That's right. Is that better? Good. So we'll be able to push into your heels and kind of feel like, imagine like the ground is rising up and you have to press into it to press it away from you. So that'll help you kind of take the bearing of the knees. I know this is probably really intense. And then the other thing you can do too, if it feels too intense, is put your hands on the floor. So this pose is usually taught like this, with our hands pressing, but that can be a lot if you have stuff going on. So you can do a little combination and even bring some movement so it doesn't feel so static. And then everybody else, if you can, maybe be still here, and this doesn't bother you in your knees, take the heels of your hands and press them together, and try to touch your sternum with your thumbs as you slide your shoulder blades down. The chin is in, so the back of your neck is long. You're getting full length in your spine. All right, let's take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, reach for the floor, and then do this slowly. Straighten your legs, parallel out your feet, and then move your hips side to side. Doing a little rinse here. Good. All right, and then toe heel your feet back together. And then over your next inhale, walk forward into downward facing dog. Space. Alrighty. Okay, so go ahead and walk your feet together and reach your right leg up. And then step forward, right foot forward again. And you'll come back into warrior 2 feet. Just for a moment, it's gonna help you pull yourself up. And then passing through your warrior 2, you'll straighten your right leg and then turn your toes, your right toes forward. Yep, so well facing the left side. And then angle your feet if you can. So you have like this deep pigeon toe angle, just keep your feet apart. Hold onto your hips with your hands, pressing down on your sacrum. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then take an inhale, stretch up with your gaze and your chest. And then as you exhale, press your hips back as you fold forward. So concentrate on not losing the awareness in your legs. So you're really feeling the edges of your feet. And if you were to look at your feet, then you would see your arches are lifting because they're super active. So it helps when you lift the toes. You can help distribute the weight to the edges of your feet. And then see if you can let your head hang drop your hands down and add a little bit more customization. So some may want to have the hands on the floor, and that could be under your elbows or forward, it really doesn't matter. And then some may take the hands behind your back, interlace your fingers and stretch your hands towards the ceiling as your arms fall towards the ground. And then some of you might want to stay. So it's up to you. There's so many choices. So do what you think is the right thing to do for your body in this moment. All right, now start to walk forward, and we'll do a little skandasana rinse through our hip sockets, hip joints. So turn your toes out the opposite way now, and take your feet pretty wide because you'll have the room. And then very slowly lean over to your right knee, and you can pop your left foot up. So you're resting on the back of your heel. Good, and you can look forward. Hello, hamstrings. Yeah. Okay, now push into your right foot, so you're not just sinking through your joints, and switch to the left. So you feel a lot of power pressing through that right foot, and then over to the left. And you can look forward, so it doesn't feel like you're kind of sinking. And you can have your foot flat. Try it with your foot flat on the floor. That's not wrong to do it that way, but just see if you can try it this way. Good, and then push through your left foot to switch again. Okay, so if you want more strength in it, it's up to you. If your right foot can stay flat on the floor, lift your arms up. So stretching them out wide, and then pop your butt up a little higher. You'll feel that more in your right quad and thigh. Okay, now press your right foot and switch. Okay. And that's it, don't worry. You're gonna be here forever, or do a million of these. Okay, now place your hands on the floor and come back through center. Turn your toes in again. Okay, so one more forward fold. So make sure you're in your feet. So toes lifted, rocking the weight to the edges of your feet. Inhale, lift your chest and heart forward. Look out. And then exhale, keep looking forward as you fold. And at the last moment, look towards your belly. And then make the adjustment with your hands. So I'll just review. Hands on your elbows, possibly. Maybe your hands are more forward. Holding into ankles. I didn't say that the first time, but that's an option. Interlace, if you did that, just switch the interlace. Or stay. Staying is fine. Nothing wrong with staying. Okay, so from here, start to lift your chest, lift your gaze, come into your legs, feel the strength of your legs. Drop your hands to the floor. Toe heel your feet closer. Right in line with your hip sockets, and then from here deeply bend your knees. Let your head hang. Hold on to opposite elbows for a moment of ragdoll. You can swing side to side. And since we were upside down for a while, it might be a little bit intense to roll up, so do this part slowly. So release your elbows, pull your chin in as slow as you can. Roll up, stacking your vertebrae all the way up. Until you're upright. All right, how do you feel? Awake, sweaty, warm? Okay, so let's just do one balance pose. Let's do true pose. Okay, so come up to the top of your mat. And I'll face this way. Actually, no. Yeah, I'll face this way. Okay, so just find a good focal point. If you tend to kind of have a little bit, an imbalance when you balance, start with looking at the ground. It's just more rounded. And then less is about horizon level. And then if you want more challenge and you're looking for that, maybe take it up and make it more limitless. So with feet side by side, lift up your 10 toes so you feel that your feet are very, very active. Yes, perfect. Right, and then hands facing forward. You're going to shift your weight to your left foot, and then you're going to pick up your right knee. See if you can hold it in your hand. You just let the weight of your knee fall into your hand. Shoulders are back. So you're looking for this posture here. A straight spine, a super solid, strong standing leg, an open chest. And then we can make the switch into tree legs. So left hand to your hip, and then decide if you want to put your foot on the floor with your heel over your ankle, right? Or slide it back up.
the inside of your calf. And then, just like that last option of looking towards the sky, taking your foot to your thigh is going to add a little bit more of a challenge. You just want to bypass your knee, just because your joints are meant to bend, your knee joints meant to bend, in a hinging action. And then when you feel pretty solid in your legs, bring your foot and your leg together towards the plumb line, your spine. And then your hands can be at the hips, the heart. Make sure your breath is still happening. And then just an option with your arms. You take your hands straight down and then draw a circle with your hands, reaching wide all the way up. Interlace your fingers and then turn your palms. Slide your shoulder blades down. Let's just take a couple rounds of breath, full rounds. Big inhale. And then as you exhale, feel your body ground more. One more inhale, lengthening and reaching. And then we'll finish our exhale in the shape. And then with our next inhale, go ahead and reach wide. And then release your right foot to the floor and then shake out your left leg in case it's on fire. Rotate your ankle. And then we'll move into the other side. So left side of the body, but we'll balance on the right side. So we'll turn this way. Seems to work better. Okay, so feet side by side. And then lift up your 10 toes so your feet are active. I know it looks weird, but it's pretty solid here. And you're gonna shift your weight into your right foot. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing, just test out balance. See what that feels like to catch knee. And then let the full weight of your knee, your leg, fall into your hands. So your arms are pulled straight. Give that full opportunity to feel your spine. Okay, now see if you can keep that with your spine, and then we'll adjust our foot. So either first option on the ground, second option on your calf, and then the last option a little further away into the inner thigh. And then all of the options, we bring our foot and our leg towards the plumb line, towards the spine. And then hands. Once you feel pretty steady with your gaze, add your hands to your hips, to the center of your chest. And then if you're interested in your hands rising up, point your fingertips down and then draw your slow circle, even lining that up with your breath. As you inhale, widen and reach, and then connect your hands the unusual way. And then exhale, press your hands away. Shoulders slide back down, and then one more inhale. Exhale. And last breath, we'll reach, bring the hands together, and then exhale. Go ahead and pull your hands in, and then step into your feet. Right, so come into Tadasana, mountain pose. So hands at your sides, palms face forward, slide your shoulders back. And then just level out your gaze, looking forward, just something that's not moving. And then from here, go ahead and close your eyes. And bring your hands to your heart.